Welcome everyone to Brian's Action Figure Reviews, and you're back for another Retro Wrestle Chat. This is episode 20, our 20th anniversary. Who in the name of God would have thought that we would have gotten this far? But yes, we have 20 wrestling matches, 20 reviews, 20 great chats with two great friends. And today's episode is Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle from Wrestlemania 19. And we recorded this on the 20th of the 9th, 2020 at 22 o'clock. And this is episode 20. Have I said 20 enough yet? I don't think so. Enjoy, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to Brian's Action Figure Reviews. And it's time for episode 20 of Retro Wrestle Chat.
Yes, episode 20. Jesus Christ, that's 20 weeks.
Can you imagine we actually kept this going this long?
Yeah, it's fucking good.
To be real, like, I'm shocked I lasted this long. I thought I would have given up by now. Been like, man, I'm fucking done with this. Like, lockdown's no longer a thing. Like, this was just like a fucking thing to keep our guys sane during the whole fucking COVID bullshit. Turn up here drunk, turn up here fucking high, tired as fuck kind of things, you know. Brian still kept me here. Gets me a wild card.
And man, do you know what the thing I don't find? We're 20 weeks in, right? 20 weeks in, and none of the audience knows if we're wearing any pants right now.
Oh no! Oh no!
Rich,
I am.
I'm most definitely wearing pants because I would be cold otherwise, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
But Tom, being the deviant of the tree, is probably not wearing pants.
I actually am an internet. Yes, no.
Anyway, Rich, tell us about your selection for this week.
Yes.
Briefly.
It is the midget fight.
Ah, yes.
With Jerry King Lawyer, with his like little midgets versus Doink and his midgets.
Dink, donk, and dink.
That's the one. And fucking yeah, man, that was my pick. That's what we're going to review today.
Excellent. I'm ready anyway. So Tubbs now is like so perplexed, like it's so funny.
Yeah, because I did not watch that match.
See, that was the original plan, but
yes.
as you can see behind Tubbs, duck your head, Tubbs. Today's match is Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 19. I asked him to duck because I wouldn't know otherwise. So
Yes.
So why did you go with that selection, Rich?
So the match I just mentioned was originally going to be my pick, right? It's got nothing to do about being episode 20, anything that. It was just going to be like the last week's match. Fuck me, was so bad. That you guys, I had a theory. Maybe it worked out that it was going to be my pick, right? And this guy knows I pick dog shit matches just to piss off Tubbs. So he thought, if he picks such a bad fucking match, that it's so fucking more worse than I could fucking choose, I'd pick a decent match just to fucking feel a bit of fucking life back into the show. So, that's the case. See, to me though, this match, there was I can't remember the build up or anything to it. I can just remember this match being fucking amazing.
Mm.
When you look at the card, see the card for this show. So what did you have? That you had fucking The Rock versus Stone Cold, Triple H versus Booker T. You know what I mean? Like, just to name a few. Like this WrestleMania 19 is fucking stacked with great fucking like talent, known cards right now. This is the fucking main event, and I just always remember like this being like a great fucking match. Two proper wrestlers, none of this fake wrestlers like this guy on the show, like actual wrestlers, like the whole technical wrestling thing, kind of in the ring. Just couldn't. There's only the one part I actually recall from this match. Obviously, we are totally going to be talking about this. It's totally going to be the main conversation. Like we're only going to have spend about maybe like 5 minutes in the first like part of the show, and then the rest of the next fucking 40 minutes is going to be about this whole fucking ending. But yeah, like, I think everyone you speak to, like when I mentioned the show to you boys last week, you were like, "Fuck yeah, this is a great show to be episode 20."
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's just because when you mention this match, you think of great spots, kind of thing,
and another horrendous spot,
and the other spot. You know what I mean? I'll say this right now. You don't like this match? Go fuck yourself. You're wrong. Straight up, like you probably love fucking WWE's worst shit and all the worst. You're probably a Roman Reigns fan,
or Cena
fan, and a Cena fan. So like, I totally get it why you maybe think this match is shit, but you're fucking wrong. You're wrong with life, and you should still subscribe to the channel, but just don't recommend matches.
If they subscribe to the channel, they might pick up some taste.
So yeah, I think you just cut it short. We just all know it's a fucking great match.
I think like for maybe the second time in the 20 episodes we've done, this is a match between two guys who were probably the two best in the world at the time. I think Omega and Okada was probably the last one, and we saw how high that scored. So, like, the first thing I noticed about this match was not even about the match, but Michael Cole was hoarse as fuck.
Yeah.
He could not speak. And you could see from the around in the ring and around the ring what carnage had gone on in other matches as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, I need to go back and watch WrestleMania 19 itself, for all those matches you mentioned already.
Yeah.
And even like when he said he was on about the last match, and just the mere thought of the commentator saying, and Austin and Rock left it all in the ring just before this match. Even that gave me a little chill, knowing that you're in that era, like, do you know what I mean? With those two going around. So Tubbs, go on, let rip.
No, I mean, like, I'm complete agreement with you. This match was, even looking back at it, because you look at matches, man, and it's like the whole Brock Eddie Guerrero match we look back at. It didn't land as well as I remembered. This match landed in every aspect I wanted, man, from bell to bell action, ring technician, there are just solid wrestling spots, and just the entire match was riddled in story. Like, the build to this match, fluid, the entire match. Yeah.
What was this? Like, I can't recall, and I didn't have time to look up it. What was the actual build up to this match? What was the build to
this match, Rich, was when Lesnar won the Royal Rumble before Mania, and then he was set to go against Angle, but Angle was running him through the ringer. Do you remember he was playing the scared running champion that was like, put him in some gauntlets with Team Angle, and then if you remember correctly, Heyman was aligned with Angle leading into this match.
Mm-hmm.
And he screwed him over. He screwed Brock over in this run up as well. But it was another thing is, if you remember correctly, in this match, Angle was the heel and Brock was the face leading into this match, which was very much role reversal, like, But I think people forget as well, man, when you look at it, how much of a fucking machine Angle is. Because I don't know if you remember this, but Angle had legit a cracked neck going into this match. Like, how he managed to do half of the shit he did in this match with a broken fucking neck. But he legit was. But if you watched it,
you won a gold medal with a fucking broken neck.
Yeah.
So going into fake wrestling, I'm pretty sure you can fucking do that as well.
But I mean, have you ever watched the documentaries and the stories behind this match? Like, he actually legit they were saying that, like, you should go get surgery. He wanted to put Brock over, like, which is kind of leads into the end of the whole lot. We'll talk about why, but like, you can genuinely see there's a respect level between those two guys, and there was no like, regardless of injury, and I loved that Angle was the one that was legit injured, and Brock was the one that was like kayfabe injured with the ribs. But this entire match, Angle, like, if you see every single move Angle did, majoritively was on to affect his ribs. Like, the storytelling aspect was just, I was fucking hooked, man, from bell to bell in this match.
It's the first time as well in a long time that I've seen, like, Brock be actually dominated in a match as well. From the very, very start, I was like, oh, this is fucking like, see how well he can, how well Lesnar sells as well.
Oh,
you don't see that anymore, like,
Mm. there was a couple of moments in this match where I think it was in the fourth or fifth minute, Angle like just came out of nowhere with an explosive fucking German suplex, and Brock just bounced up, man, and hit the ropes, man. I was going, Jesus Christ. There was some fucking sick bumps in this, man, but there was like we were saying before, like watching wrestling, like watching actual wrestlers do the wrestling moves and the techniques and the switchovers and reversals. There was some wrestling. Like there was a fucking reversal in this match it went from an ankle lock into a fucking one-legged Boston crab. It went and it just kept changing and changing and changing. And there was another one then. I mean, genuinely one of the fucking sexiest spots in this match was when Brock went to throw Angle out like clothesline him from the turnbuckle out. Angle reverses it, then ducks a clothesline, then German suplexes him, and fucking Brock shooting star presses out of the fucking turnbuckle. I was like, fuck me, that was done so fucking sexy. Like that was just such a fucking perfectly delivered fucking combo. Like,
and how good as well. Like I'm seeing it. I'm catching up on AEW the past few weeks. I'm actually watching all the shows when I get a chance, and it today reaffirmed it for me. Like how fucking good is Taz on commentary?
Yeah, man.
He is fucking brilliant. I was like, Cole, shut up, you can't talk. Just let Taz do the talking.
But even with Cole, man, as hoarse as he was, like, I mean, we've all shed on Cole as watching true matches in WWE because, like, Joe Cole has a tendency to be fucking repetitive in his conversation and we can really, really kind of have terrible matches with commentary. In this match even, man, like, I mean, himself and Taz, I do remember, it was, like, it's been a while since I've seen a match that had those two on commentary, but Cole and Taz were a good team, man. And Cole was on point in this, as hoarse as he was and as fucked as, and it just goes to show what Rich and yourself were saying about how stacked this card was.
What came before, yeah.
Yeah, what came before and how hoarse he was going into this match, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think you just look at the ring attire and to see the blood left in the ring to be like, you know, if you watch this match, right, you're instant just looking at the ring and being like, what the fuck? Like, why is this ring covered in fucking blood? But nah, like, there was like, this is something we don't say this often, but there was great chemistry in this fucking match.
Yeah.
Between the two. You know, like, these boys danced well together. And it's like, going back to those stories that the wrestlers used to say, like, after, like, a Raw or SmackDown, like, after the recording kind of thing, before they took the ring down, like, Brock and Angle would get in the ring and do, like, proper, like, wrestling just to entertain all the other talent. And you could totally see how they have been doing that because it paid off. Like, what, like, the first, like how long was this match, Tubbs? You're usually the time.
20 minutes, isn't it?
Without entrances, just over 24 minutes.
So you're probably saying at least that maybe the first 12 minutes was quite solid, good wrestling.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, the reversals and everything. Like, it was just fucking beautiful. Like, it's one of those things. See, now, if you were to put Lesnar and Angle in a ring, that match would never existed. That would not happen. Do you know what I mean? Because Lesnar can't.
Now, like.
Yeah, like, Lesnar could. It's so. See, when you go back, see if you know what Lesnar is now, right? A lot of folk who've just watched wrestling for, say, maybe the last 10 years. We'll just go the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
They are not aware that Lesnar can move that way.
Yeah.
You know, he is your suplex, your shoulder tackle, a clothesline, your F5. You know, like, he's very limited on his, like, kind of moves that he does to you. So to see him, like, fucking move so quickly and agile, it was like a fucking cat. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just fucking, it was completely fucking solid, like, to see that. And also just seeing Angle in his prime. Like, you got to think, the last time we seen him, he was losing to Corbin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're seeing someone who's, like, Brock up and coming and doing what he can fucking do, but you're seeing Angle in his fucking, a part of his prime, because he had good few fucking periods of, like, no, his prime fucking stretched for quite a while, but like that was probably a good time for Angle, you know what I mean? Like, this match, I don't know about you boys, it's hard to fucking call some bad spots. Like, you know, like, do you know what I mean?
I was going to say it, Rich.
I'm putting out there, boys. I'm putting out there, like, hey, this match wasn't perfect. There's a few little things which we'll touch upon when Brian asks us about our fucking worst spots. But overall, when you think of this match, apart from that one kind of thing, like that one that we were going to talk about, probably going to spend about half an hour fucking discussing that, but like there isn't that much noticeable moments in this match. Hey, like, fuck it, right? Cole is shit. So I'm not going to base Cole's fucking commentary on this fucking match. I was smart. Like, I was fucking lucky to fucking just kind of like switch off to him talking. But this, to try and like, we are going to have to be scraping a fucking battle. I was scraping the battle to find low points in this match. That wasn't the.
So how
I
about
was nitpicking too.
So how about we flip the switch on this one? We'll talk about high points first, because obviously the biggest talking point of this match is low points. We'll leave that for later. So, Tubbs,
go on.
What's your high point? What were you going to say first, though?
No, I was even going to say is, do you remember I said before, Rich? Remember, like when it comes to botches and matches, yeah.
Yeah.
Just sometimes, like you know yourself, when it's a clear botch, it can ruin a match. But there's sometimes, and it's a small amount, but sometimes a botch can fucking help a match.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this, right, and I mean, obviously, look, anyone can clear as they see. It was a botch. Do you know what I mean? And it was. But it didn't take away from anything. If anything, I was going, oh my God, the drama just went up to the fucking roof when this spot went wrong. And sometimes it can happen. Sometimes it can elevate a match. And I think the spot elevated this match, which is fucking weird.
For the record, though, that's not like, see, that is not my low point. That's not not even a low point. There was twice I had a low point, and it's actually the same thing. But we're not going to talk about it. We're talking about the high points, though, aren't we?
Yes.
Well, I don't mind. Whichever you want to talk about first.
Well, how about we do our high and low points, but we don't include the botch?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, is that the ending, you mean?
Yeah, we don't include the end.
Take that out.
Just talk about our high and low points, and then we're going to talk about this fucking ending.
Go on, so Tubbs, give it to us. Low points and high points.
Okay, see, look, for me, like, I watched this match, man, and the minute these two boys went at it from the bell, do you know what I mean? They did, and it wasn't like a hardcore fucking hit each other with weapons, which is what I loved. This was solid fucking wrestling, reversal, fucking power moves, just two machines going at it till the wheels fell off, man. And this is what I loved about this match. So I fucking struggled to find low points in this match. I really did. Like, is what Rich was saying, is I could nitpick and say, oh, Michael Cole's, voice annoyed me, or, oh, Brock kind of didn't catch him fully when he went to power slam him up, things like that. But I couldn't find like distinctive low points in this match. I found nitpicky things for the sake of nitpicky things, because we do a show where we have good and bad points, But for me, there was so many fucking moments in this match that I would just pop for, or I fucking went, like there was a sequence in it where Angle ran up and hit him with a knee in the back, and then ran back and hit him with a second one and blew him out of the ring, and then Brock got back in, and then they exchanged, and then Angle ran at him, and I swear to God, man, every time Angle does this spot, my heart goes into my chest, where Brock backdropped him over the top rope, and he did a full 360 and crumbled into the fucking mat. I loved it. The shooting star press German suplex reversal was fucking fantastic. Those fucking belly to bellies were sick. The fucking German suplexes were sick. There was so many fucking... there was the things I did love. There were tiny fucking moves, but I loved them in this match. Was these the out of nowhere fucking cradle pins.
Yeah, that's my
Angle's one was so fucking slick, man. And another thing I'll point out in this match, and you don't see it very fucking often in WWE wrestling anymore, is those 2.9 kickouts. Last fucking second, emotions in the fucking air kickouts. You just don't see them anymore, man. And to see them, because these boys were kicking out at like a millisecond to 3, like the fucking, like the emotion and the adrenaline in this match was fucking high point, man. It was so fucking top level. But there was like as I said, there's so many fucking high points in this match. And the F5s, oh man, those F5s, Angle sold those like a fucking bitch, man. He spun so fucking high in the air for all those ones. I think it was the one just before the shooting star was the one that, like, I think he took the most gusto on. Like, he just spun himself. But yeah, there was so many fucking spots. I couldn't name one single, like, oh, this is my best spot. I just, there's just fucking too many of them.
For me, like that F5, what kind of sort of what you were saying there, right? The kick out of the F5. Like, how often, like, years ago we used to watch these matches in most pay-per-views, but in the big pay-per-views, you actually saw those moves being protected all year round, and then in the biggest match, the highest fucking showcase of all, then someone kicks out, and it's a fucking massive deal.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, you have people kicking out of finishers on Raw and SmackDown and NXT and weekly, and people's moves aren't protected like that anymore. And when you go back then and see how it used to be, it kind of pisses you off a bit.
Yeah, it does in a way, like.
Because like, also the ankle lock was fucking fantastic as well. How Brock sold it as well, amazing. Yeah. But just the overall fluidity of, like, the reversals and stuff as well. Like we're all going to repeat ourselves here because we're all going to gush about the same things. Again, myself, I can't really think of any massive standout bad points. I mean, some of the punches may have been a bit weak, but no, I can't really give it any low points. Again, Michael Cole annoyed me a little bit, but yeah. Rich,
he's always going to annoy you, though.
I think he annoyed me more because he tried to talk over Taz at parts as well. But yeah. So yeah, look, I don't know. I can't really think of any major low points.
High point for me is at the end. Kurt Angle goes straight over to check on Lesnar. Didn't have to. Breaking character.
It wasn't though, Rich, because this is what I'm saying about the build. You remember I was saying, like, these guys were channeling towards, but there was still that fucking respect level going into the match. These two boys respected each other. So that's what it was. I think that's why the ending played out that way. But
it was just it's such a highlight of a moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, the guys went to fucking battle, and then it's like, how disappointed would have you been? You know where these guys come from, their background, right? You didn't get that technical wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that you got what you wanted. So, like, that's a highlight for me. Like, you actually got what you would expect in a match, and they provided it. But like I say, the main highlight was, like, at the end, like, Angle could have just fucking walked out that ring. But he knew what the fuck was going on. He went and did it. He's like fucking check on his mate kind of thing. And to me, it was almost like kind of like that moment. It reminded me of the Edge and Mick Foley, the end of the hardcore match. Kind of thing. Yeah. Everyone's a winner. Kind of moment. So, like, that was good. My worst point is, like, this is nitpicking. These boys could not fucking kick during the fight. Oh my god, like them in their kicks. These boys can't fucking kick. You know what I mean? Even if it was just like no one knows it kicks the lower leg and stuff, it just looked so bad when they were standing. First, I realized it was like with Lesnar when the Angle was against the ropes and he went for like a kick, and I was just like, I'm fucking bringing it up again. Was it the camera angle? I swear, there's probably cameramen from fucking WWE being like, fucking asshole just got my fucking back. Well, you know what, bro? What's the term? Pan out? Don't get so fucking close. Pan out. You know what I mean? In person, it wouldn't look bad. But it was just like how close the camera was that you could see, like, oh, it wasn't connecting. And then later on, you see Angle do it, and like the camera's like fucking zooming right in. I swear it just like I felt like the camera was just like, zoomed on the legs, and it was just like you could see like it wasn't connecting, and I was like, oh man, like what the fuck? Like to me, like it became like a distracting thing for me when the guys were kicking each other to be like, oh, and they're not missing because I think it was as well because they were making such a big noise. The whole kind of like kick, but you're trying to make the ring make sound noisy as fuck.
Thumping the ring,
yeah. So like it became even more noticeable every time they were kicking to be like, you're kind of missing each other. But like that's very little to take away from like this match though. Do you know what I mean? That was like we have to nitpick. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, and like I was trying to be like ideally this is great as this match is. This match ain't fucking perfect. you know what I mean?
No
So
matches though, Rich. You know?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Apart from Kenny Omega and Okada, if you actually fucking knew what was happening, just staying up, just fucking saying. Do you know what I mean?
No, man.
That was a perfect match. But you know, like I was nitpicking just to see if there was anything, and that was really. But then the thing is, as well, it's not the first time, it's not going to be the last time I've bitched about the camera angles to really, like, show you like a moment. If you didn't see it from that angle, it wouldn't look bad. But that was just like a little bit of fucking irritation for me, though, on my highlights and my low points.
Just something on that one as well, Rich.
Yeah.
For the last few weeks, we veered away from like mainstream WWE, and we did like ECW and we did ICW and all these kind of different promotions. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right? Before you
but in none of those videos did the camera angles come up. It seems to be a WWE thing. Kevin Dunn's like hyper zoom fucking,
also
push-ins.
But they've also got better cameras. You know what I mean? Like they're fucking recording fucking HD or fucking whatever, and like say ECW, dude, that's probably fucking like those video cameras that have like the VHS you have to take out. You know what I mean, man?
Probably, man. Probably.
You know what I mean? Like this phone is more high tech, and what they were using their cameras to fucking record that matches. You know.
But I will say, like, WWE is probably filmed as a TV show, whereas those shows are filmed as wrestling shows.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Is it seems to be WWE have a certain style and approach that we noticed in watching it.
WWE is only 20 years away from being a Michael Bay film.
I wouldn't even say 20 years, man. I reckon it's almost there.
Yeah.
Like, Tubbs, what's going to happen is like when I smack you in the face, there's going to be an explosion, and when you smack me back, there's another explosion.
And then an American flag appears out of nowhere.
Yeah,
right behind Rich.
Start smacking into each other. New York starts to crumble. Do you know what I mean? Like
there's a diva sitting on a motorcycle.
Hey, no, don't divas. No,
they're called women wrestlers now, Brian.
Yes, they're superstars in their own right. You know, fucking, you're the reason why there's feminists out there.
God, it's 2020, Brian. You know, they're on the same level as the guys now, man.
Hell, man.
So, like, a question for you guys.
Yeah, man.
What do you, on the timing of this match, do you think it was too short or too long? Or
perfect? This was perfect.
I genuinely, because you know yourself, Rich, we've watched matches that have been like an hour long, 35, 40 minutes, 10 minutes long, you know, and look, every match is different and every match is fucking, you know, like even the match last week that we watched was 10 minutes long, and that was 10 minutes too fucking long. You know, it was. This match was 24 minutes, and it was just, like, it just goes to show that three of us had to nitpick to find things wrong with this match. Do you know what I mean? And we had to go out of our way. Like I didn't like the camera angle. I didn't like the commentary. Oh, Lesnar, you know, shouldered him wrong. But, you know, these are tiny little nitpicky things that we were trying to kind of go, okay, we'll try find something. But it wasn't. And we've done 20 weeks of this, man. This is our 20th show. And as Rich pointed out, we watched that Kenny Omega match, and that was almost close to perfect. It was such a good match. In my opinion, this is on that level.
Kenny Omega. So, like I know as well as you guys would probably think, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to wish for that 10 minutes of that New Jack match back.
Oh, yeah. We're fucking owed that back, man.
So we've beat around the bush for long enough. Let's talk about fucking the attempted shooting star press by Brock Lesnar.
Right, just for the record, right? See if he landed this properly. So if Angle was like fucking half a meter closer, right? That would have been so fucking amazing.
He's done it tons of times in FCW.
I know, but like the way just how it was, like it was perfect. It was just the angle was that little bit too far away.
I don't even think that's what it was, Rich, from watching it back. I mean, like as I said, it might have been angled too far out, but what I think was, and this is only from just watching it back a few times when it got to the point, was if you watch him on the ropes, and as Brian pointed out, we've seen him in OVW, we've seen him do it over and over and over again. He's landed it perfect. But when he went to do it, there's kind of a slight hesitation from him.
There's a delay,
Yeah, there's a slight hesitation on the top rope. So when he springs up, I think instead of going out, he went up, and you see how his head goes down into the ring. I think that's what
He started to turn too late.
I think when he flipped over, I think he veered down instead of out. So his momentum, and you got to look at his weight as well. His weight probably pushed him down. So that hesitation probably took a bit of the momentum going up and sent him forward a bit. So he didn't get it all the way over. But Jesus Christ, lads! I mean, I know, like, because like we've seen it so many times, and I think what Rich was saying there is if he had landed it, this move would have been remembered completely differently. But I reckon on the same level, because this dude was like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on this, lads, because I really tried to remember. Was this Lesnar's first year on the main roster? Was this his first Mania?
No, because it was his second title, because he won the first one after Rock, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he won that in a matter of months, man. Like he
won that title. He won that title at the previous SummerSlam. So this would have been WrestleMania.
This would have been his second year.
Yeah. I think.
But it would have been his first Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's where I was trying to figure out. But yeah, when you think about it, right? And I mean, what was he? 25, 26 years old at that point. Like he was a young buck. He was a fucking young guy.
Like when you think about it, like as you said, it's his first WrestleMania, and he's facing Kurt Angle on the main event, above The Rock and Stone Cold, and Undertaker and everyone else. The fucking absolute balls on that guy to try that, like.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, I remember I've seen an interview before it was Booker T's, his podcast thing he does.
Mm.
Yeah. And I remember he even said it, like he said that, like, when he was in OVW, like you could just tell that Lesnar was just like he wasn't your average star. He wasn't your average wrestler. This guy was just he as Rich pointed out a while ago, big as a motherfucking house, but moved like a cat. You know, and it's not very often you see guys like that. But then people look at Kurt Angle as well, and you forget Kurt Angle is 6'1", I think. He's just above 6 foot. But the fucking guy is like, you look at the difference in size of these two guys, right? But my God, man, Angle is just a fucking machine. Like, he's just so fucking good. And then you have.
It's damn true.
And then as Rich pointed out a while ago as well, as it's like matches, man. We've seen so many matches, we've reviewed so many matches, and you have two guys that, you know, they're in there and they're both fucking fantastic, but there's like they're bouncing, it's not meshing as well as it could. These guys, just as Rich pointed a while ago, and he said it exactly, these guys danced, and they danced fucking well. They really did, man. This match was like they. And it's weird because, as I said, I think it goes back to what you were saying again about Lesnar. If people jumped in and started watching Lesnar within the last 10 years, do you know what they see? German suplex, belly to belly, F5, win, boom, title on his shoulder for a year, all that jazz, you know. But this era of Lesnar was like Lesnar sold, Lesnar fucking popped, Lesnar fucking delivered. He hit hard. Do you know, he was a fucking beast of a fucking guy. And I think Angle, I don't know if he'll agree with me here, but I think in his earlier like run, I think Angle was his best partner, like his best dance partner in the ring. Like anytime these guys got in matches, like they had Iron Man matches, man, that were fantastic. Do you know, this match was just high standard pinnacle. If you were going to show any match, like out of, there's a lot, but if you were to like really just going to go like, oh man, you should watch this if you want to see fucking high class wrestling. And like when pro wrestling is done on a high level, this is one of those matches. This is just a fucking thoroughbred solid match.
I think like if he does, like you were saying, Rich, if he hits that shooting star press and wins the match like that, it's gone down in history as probably the best match.
Perfect match. Hey, it would have been the perfect fucking match, at least in WWE. Like you say, this was a flawless match. If that was landed, you know, it would have been fucking beautiful, man. Like it would have been.
And you could tell as well that it was supposed to be the finish.
Oh yeah, it definitely was.
Seconds later, he fucking F5s him and wins.
Yeah, I mean, and you could even see, as Rich was even saying about it, just about Angle's character, you could tell like straight away. Well, not straight away, but maybe a few seconds after.
He was turning over towards him. Yeah.
Like, he literally turned over and went for a pin, and Brock kicks out, and then he immediately goes to pick him up, and then Brock goes up for the F5. So I reckon Angle must have said to him, like, look, pick me up, or we're taking it home. He must have said it to him. But yeah, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I do agree, if he landed that move, Jesus Christ, like, this would have been genuinely one of WWE's top, like, perfected matches. But can I ask you a question?
No.
Even with the botch, even with the fact that he didn't land it, did it take away from the ending of the match for you? Or did it heighten it?
Because this happened, right?
Yeah.
You remember this match a lot more.
Yeah.
Because it happened.
I think if he didn't try it and just won with an F5, it wouldn't be as memorable.
No.
Yeah.
That's the way I
agree. I agree. Which brings me back to the point I was saying a while ago. In that small window, sometimes botches can elevate matches.
And I think
if it's a fucking shitty botch, like Mickey James going for her finisher and just falling on her ass, and that's a botch. There's this match. I think it was just the drama of the match and how good it was to that point. I think that because when that fucking botch happened, I think if you were watching it for the first time then, I think you might have been thinking, oh my God, Lesnar's not winning this. Because Angle went for the pin straight after it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm just saying, as a fan that had never seen the match, you might have thought, like, oh, Jesus Christ, he's not going to fucking win now. Do you know what I mean? And then they went with it, and he still picked up the win, which showed how much of the way he came out of this match was, like, he nearly died from that fucking move. I think if that was any other fucking wrestler, they would have been severely injured after that. Yeah, the fact that Lesnar's got fucking trapped up
his fucking ears.
Yeah, traps up these ears, man, protected him so much on that. But it still knocked the fucking shit out of him. Like, he was wrecked after that. Like, but I think it genuinely just goes to show that that botch could have ruined that match, because that could have fucking really severely fucked up someone else. But the fact that he's enough gusto to be able to carry on, I know it was only one move extra, but the fact that there was an explosive ending out of the last F5, because it was the third F5, Rich? Yeah. I think when he got him up after that, he hit him with a third F5. Yeah, and then he beat him. And that crowd went wild when he won. Like, they genuinely did. Like, I mean, as I said, it's so weird after watching Lesnar for the last 10 plus years back in WWE. He's been a heel the entire run, if I'm correct. But to see the crowd be so Lesnar orientated in such a face win.
The last time we've seen Lesnar is almost a kind of face is one of my favorite moments of Lesnar's career.
Brock Party.
Fuck yeah, man! I fucking love Brock Party. And then the whole fucking, and I dream for this day. I so dream for this day. It's never gonna happen. Vinny Mac just needs to give into it. The scene when he with Brock, Heyman and R-Truth.
Oh man, I want that. I want more of that. I'm so on your team here.
The Brock keeps going to fucking Vinny being like, I want to work with R-Truth. Because
he's actually said it. It's actually been stated, hasn't it? Yeah, he's actually mad to work with him.
He's stated again recently, I want to work with R-Truth. Like, let me do it, kind of thing. And it's like, do you know what? I'm saying it now. What's the date today? I am saying on the 20th of September 2020, and it's 10:01, right? R-Truth and Lesnar 2021 Tag Team Champions.
I just realized something.
It's 20th episode of 2020. I just realized it as well.
Fucking just clicked when you said it, man. It's the 20th of 2020, and it's our 20th episode. That's a lot of fucking 20s, guys.
And 2201.
Oh man, 20 fucking weeks, man. This is a fucking blinder of a match.
Let's close it out. Tubbs.
Yeah.
Rating.
Fucking solid 10.
Ooh. Rich.
9.5.
And I'm going to go 9.2.
So it's a 9.5, and a 10.
That's second
What
place.
does that bring us up to?
Second place.
19.5. 27.5. And it puts it on joint third.
Second.
Joint fourth.
Third.
Joint fourth, actually.
Right, top 5,
What?
right, come on.
Top 5. So, guys, what I'm going to do now, before we go any further, is I'm going to run down the top 5. If you give me a second. So, at number 5, came from our second week, was HBK versus Undertaker, 26. Then joint fourth. So hold on now. 1. Actually, I'm wrong.
Right, I told you how to shit organized.
I'm gonna do this now. A sec. Hold on. It's a lot of fucking matches and a lot of numbers. So shut the
I'm
fuck up.
pretty sure this is second or joint third, this match.
It has to be up there, like.
Okay, so Omega and Okada is number 1. We'll do it the opposite way around.
Yeah.
On 28.5, number 2 is AJ versus Daniels versus Joe, and that was on week 3. And number 3 is Owen versus Brett from week 8. Number 4, I was right, I should have kept going, is joint fourth, Brett versus Austin on 27.5.
To be fair, that's not a bad count.
Edge versus Foley on 27.5.
Oh.
Angle versus Shane on 27.5.
Fuck.
And Angle versus Brock on 27.5. And of course, the first one I said.
No. What did you rate it? 9, Brian?
9.
A 9?
It's 28.5, so isn't it?
Yeah. I was saying, your maths is way off. The Asian's fucking kicking off
It's
here. Your
joint
maths is
second then.
Joint second. I knew it had to be higher.
So joint second. And I'm not doing any more maths. I'll just send them all over to Rich in future. Well, you said it, not me.
Well, look, come here. Look, this one came pretty damn close.
Yeah.
You know. And what's the Omega one? Is that a full 30?
29.
No,
All right. So you both gave it 10s and I give it a 9, was it?
Yeah.
you give it a 9 because you had no clue what the fuck was happening.
Well, to be fair, I didn't, man, because I think I watched it in the Japanese thing. I didn't know the story and stuff. But look, I'm not saying it wasn't good. But I mean, Jesus Christ, man, if this match couldn't top or level Omega, like we're fucking out. We're gonna have to find a good one, like.
So my choice for next week, before we go, our first time doing an NXT match.
Yes.
I have mentioned this before, but I didn't go through with it. So our match next week is NXT TakeOver, the debut of Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn.
Fuck yes.
I think I remember this match being like a fucking cracker. Okay.
I'm not going to say nothing because I love this match and I watched it first.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to rewatch this shit. So, because NXT has some fucking blinding matches. Like, that's a good fucking pick. Yeah.
So guys, tune in for next week, episode 21, and we set off on the road to 50.
20 fucking weeks, kids. 20 weeks.